topics. A controversial protein source is being farmed on a massive scale.
Before leaving the farm, random samples undergo rigorous health checks to prevent viral outbreaks.
Once they reach optimal weight, they are moved from the breeding pits to the transport line.
Efficiency is key. Thousands of units are moved from the breeding sectors every single morning. Strict dietary logs are kept to ensure the meat remains lean and free from disease.
Harvesting is manual, dangerous work, requiring speed and thick protective gear. Harvesting is manual, dangerous work, requiring speed and thick protective gear.
Heavy machinery takes over where manual labor ends, preparing the harvest for the long journey.
Millions of bamboo rats are raised here, fed a strict diet of bamboo and cane to ensure premium meat quality.
The logistics of moving live cargo requires precision stacking to ensure airflow during transport.
With the paperwork signed, the ownership transfers from the farmer to the industrial processor.
Every inch of space is utilized, maximizing the yield for the processing plant.
Specialized ventilated trucks are used to keep the livestock alive until the final destination.
Broken seals are logged immediately, ensuring no tampering occurred during transit.
Transport must be swift to minimize weight loss and stress on the livestock.
Upon arrival, the transport units back directly into sealed intake bays to maintain biosecurity. Leaving the rural silence, the cargo enters the industrial heart of the region. Security is tight. Few outsiders are ever permitted to see what happens inside. This is it, one of the largest rodent processing facilities in the world. These isolated farms are just the beginning of a complex supply chain.
Inside, the humidity is high. Thousands of animals are packed tight, anxious to be unloaded.
Each cage is scanned and logged into the central database before processing begins.
Speed is essential now. The longer they sit in the stationary truck, the higher the mortality rate. Once offloaded, the cargo enters the automated intake system, removing the need for human handling.
Any animals showing signs of distress or illness are flagged and removed from the food chain.
External pathogens are neutralized immediately at the entry point.
They now enter the holding buffer, a climate-controlled warehouse designed to calm the livestock.
This facility can hold up to 50,000 units at any given time, creating a constant supply buffer.
Strict quality standards mean about 3% of the daily intake is rejected immediately. Automation maximizes space, stacking the inventory 5 meters high. Hydration is maintained until the very last moment to ensure the meat remains tender.
The logistics system dictates the flow. Batch 402 is next in line.
The facility operates 24/7. While the livestock rests, the cleaning crews prepare the slaughter floor.
The processing facility itself covers over 40,000 square meters, a fortress of industrial efficiency.
The waiting is over. The transition from livestock to product begins now.
Airflow is cycled every 4 minutes to prevent ammonia buildup from the waste.
Before entering the floor, humanity is stripped away, replaced by sterile uniformity.
3,000 workers operate in rotating shifts to keep the lines moving 24 hours a day.
Access is strictly controlled. Hygiene zones are separated by airlocks and biometric security.
Hygiene protocols outside are just as strict as those inside.
Cross-contamination is the enemy. Every boot must be chemically sanitized.
30 seconds of scrubbing is mandatory. Sensors prevent the doors from opening if the cycle is incomplete.
Carbon dioxide is pumped in at high concentrations to render the chickens unconscious instantly.
The final barrier is the air shower, blowing away any remaining microscopic debris. Workers have less than 4 seconds to shackle each unit to the overhead line.
The livestock enters the controlled atmosphere stunner. This is the point of no return. Manual shackling requires dexterity and emotional detachment.
Legally considered processed meat rather than livestock.
The process is designed to be painless, shutting down the brain before the heart.
Below, the architecture of slaughter is laid out in a continuous, linear flow.
The overhead rail is the spine of the factory, moving the product through every subsequent stage. Waste recovery systems capture all fluids for processing into fertilizer or feed.
Before the skin can be removed, the carcasses must be scalded to loosen the fur.
The transformation is stark. The animal is gone. The raw food product remains.
And free of spoilage.
From the scalder, they drop immediately into the rotary deherring machines.
A final polish ensures the skin is pristine before the most delicate stage, evisceration.
Water temperature is maintained at exactly 60 degrees Celsius to loosen the hair follicles without cooking the meat.
A flash sear removes microscopic hairs and sterilizes the surface bacteria,
leaving the skin intact and undamaged.
Precision is critical. A single mistake could contaminate the meat with bacteria.
Traceability is maintained. The organs travel directly beneath the carcass they came from.
Licensed veterinarians inspect every single entrail path. Any sign of disease triggers an automatic reject.
The viscera are separated immediately. Liver and heart for premium markets, the rest for rendering.
Here, manual skill replaces automation. The internal organs must be removed without rupturing the digestive tract.
Tails are harvested for specific culinary markets or pharmaceutical use.
Safety is non-negotiable. Roughly 2% of the line is condemned at this stage.
A final high-pressure wash removes any bone dust or traces of blood. Extremities with high bacterial loads, like paws, are removed and processed separately. Each unit is weighed and graded automatically. The data is stored for yield analysis. Clean, inspected, and weighed, the meat now enters the rapid cooling phase. The base protein is loaded into industrial mixers, capable of handling 2 tons per batch. For the fast food market, the paste is molded into familiar, kid-friendly shapes. On the sausage line, automated stuffers produce 500 links per minute. Efficiency is absolute. No human hands touch the product during forming. A double coating of batter ensures a crispy texture that consumers expect. Vacuum pumps transport the mixture to the forming lines, removing air pockets that could cause spoilage. The protein matrix must be sticky enough to hold its shape during cooking.
Precise blends of spices and curing agents are added to mask the gamey flavor and enhance preservation.
Ice is essential. It keeps the temperature low and creates a stable emulsion for sausages and nuggets.
Whole cuts are injected with saline solution to increase weight and tenderness.
The breading hides the origin of the meat, creating a uniform, golden product.
Tumbling under vacuum pulls the marinade into the cellular structure of the meat. The oil is constantly filtered to prevent off flavors from burning crumbs.
For pre-cooked products, a steam tunnel ensures the internal temperature hits 72 degrees. Visual appeal is engineered. Heated rollers apply char marks to mimic a backyard grill. A 30-second flash fry sets the coating, though the meat inside remains raw for now. All lines converge at the spiral freezer, the gateway to the final packaging stage.
The individual quick freezing, or IQF, tower is the heart of preservation.
For pre-cooked products, a steam tunnel ensures the internal temperature hits 72 degrees.
Alignment is crucial for even cooking in the continuous thermal ovens. Temperatures drop to -40 degrees instantly, locking in moisture and preventing large ice crystals. Temperatures drop to -40 degrees instantly, locking in moisture and preventing large ice crystals. Alignment is crucial for even cooking in the continuous thermal ovens. X-ray scanners peer through the frozen meat, hunting for bone shards or metal fragments.
Burnt or misshapen units are removed instantly. Only perfection moves forward. Nitrogen flushing displaces oxygen, extending the shelf life of the meat to over a year.
Vertical form, fill, seal machines package 60 bags per minute without a single human touch.
Emerging rock hard, the product is now durable enough for high-speed automated handling.
Vibration ensures a single-layer feed for the optical eyes that watch every millimeter.
Every bag is weighed again. If it's under by even 2 grams, it is automatically rejected.
The multi-head weigher calculates the perfect combination of buckets to hit the target weight within 1 gram.
After 24 hours in the blast chiller, the core temperature drops to exactly 2 degrees Celsius.
Rigid and cold, the meat is now firm enough for the precision work of deboning. Premium cuts are deboned by hand to preserve muscle texture for high-end jerky.
Nothing is wasted. The skeletal remains are routed to the mechanical recovery system.
The breakdown is rapid. Legs, saddles, and rib cages are separated in under 6 seconds.
Frames and difficult cuts enter the mechanical deboning machine, or MDM. Meanwhile, the solid muscle cuts are prepared for texturing. High pressure forces the remaining soft tissue through a sieve, creating a fine protein paste.
The auger drives the cold meat through steel plates, determining the final grain size.
Consistency is key. The grind must be uniform to ensure even cooking later.
Infrared scanners analyze fat content in real time, adjusting the blend automatically.
Recipes are followed to the gram.
There is no room for estimation in industrial processing.
The raw material is now ready to be transformed into the final product.
Before mixing, the raw grind is checked again for any knife tips that may have snapped off.
Standardization required precise batching. Each cart holds exactly 200 kilograms. The base components are assembled. With the hopper full, the main transformation stage can begin.
Gravity feeds the processing line, moving the batch into the blending phase.
Laser sorters inspect color and shape, ejecting any piece that doesn't meet the visual standard.
Delta robots work at speeds the human eye can barely track, packing cases with relentless precision.
Once filled, the cases are sealed and prepared for the final stage of tracking.
The packaging ecosystem is fully autonomous, erecting its own boxes as demand fluctuates.
Heavy lifting is obsolete. These giants stack pallets perfectly square, 24 hours a day.
The load is secured for transport, wrapped tight to prevent shifting during global shipping.
Batch codes ensure that every single carton can be traced back to the specific farm and harvest date.
Guided by magnetic tape and Wi-Fi, the robots take the finished stock to the finishing area. Volumetric fillers ensure that every tin contains exactly 300 grams of protein.
For the export market, canning offers the ultimate shelf stability. The line runs at 800 cans per minute.
Hot brine is added to displace air and enhance the preservation process during cooking.
The double seam is critical. A microscopic gap here would mean botulism later. The retorts sterilize the contents at 121 degrees, cooking the bone until it is soft. Vacuum sealing locks the product in time, allowing it to be sold without refrigeration. Over 4 hours, hot air removes 90% of the moisture, concentrating the protein. An oxygen absorber is added to every pouch to prevent the fat from going rancid.
On the premium line, high-protein jerky is produced by slicing the meat into thin ribbons.
A heavy marinade cures the meat and provides the dark color consumers associate with beef jerky.
Even spacing is vital. Touching pieces will result in wet spots that could harbor bacteria.
The product must cool completely before packaging to prevent condensation inside the bag.
Automatic cutters size the product for snacking, removing the need for hand trimming.
Every hour, random samples are pulled from the line to ensure the batch meets international safety standards. The cans are tray-packed and shrink-wrapped, ready for long-term storage or disaster relief aid. A final ferrous and non-ferrous metal check ensures no machine parts have broken off into the food.
Finished, sealed, and labeled, the product is now ready for the laboratory's final approval.
Labeling is often generic. Meat or animal protein meets the legal requirements in many export zones.
The meat is liquefied to release any bacteria trapped deep within the tissue fibers.
Samples incubate for 24 hours. Even a single colony of pathogens will condemn the entire tonnage. Cultures are grown to test for Salmonella, E. coli, and Listeria. Zero tolerance is the rule.
The sample enters the laboratory through a sterile airlock to prevent floor contaminants from entering the testing zone.
Here, the chaotic noise of production is replaced by the silent precision of science.
Under UV light, contaminants would glow. This batch is clean.
Texture analyzers ensure the bite force required mimics that of chicken or pork.
Chemical composition is verified. The fat content must match the label claim within 0.5%.
They check for bore taint or ammonia notes that might indicate stress at the time of slaughter.
Machines can measure chemistry, but only humans can judge the sensory experience.
Only with the certificate of analysis can the inventory be unlocked in the warehouse.
PCR testing confirms the species identity, ensuring no unlisted animals have entered the supply chain.
A sample of every batch is kept for 2 years. If a customer gets sick, the factory can retest the original source.
Electronic records prove that the metal detectors were functioning correctly every second of the day.
The electronic quarantine is lifted. The product is now free to leave the facility.
The finished pallets enter the Dark Cathedral, a fully automated cold storage facility with 0 human presence.
At the staging bay, the temperature is carefully managed to prevent the cardboard from softening.
Shipping containers are inspected for cleanliness and pre-cooled before loading begins.
Once the bolt seal is applied, the container cannot be opened until it reaches the customer.
From a muddy farm to a sterile box, the transformation is absolute.
And this is how modern factories produce processed rat meat from start to finish.
Data loggers will record the temperature every 10 minutes for the entire month-long voyage.
Leaving the facility, the protein enters the anonymous flow of global commerce.
Movement at sea can damage the product. The load is locked tight with air cushions.
At the staging bay, the temperature is carefully managed to prevent the cardboard from softening.
When an export order is confirmed, the system automatically prioritizes the oldest stock for dispatch. Retrieval takes less than 2 minutes. The frozen blocks are moved to the staging bay.
Robotic cranes manage the inventory, placing stock in complete darkness to save energy.
This specific container is destined for a wholesale market 4,000 miles away.
We take pride in getting it right the first time, every time.